All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And for those in Europe, good evening. And for those on the West Coast, good morning or slightly after afternoon. And depending on where you are, it's been a little while, but we are back. It is Ansel and Crystal for our April live event. And we're pretty excited to share minimal things with you today and have a good time. So, on the agenda today is Sunny 2.0, Crystal's grammar rant, Mango saying goodbye repeatedly as she thinks Daddy's on the phone and she wants to be on the phone too, as well as an update on secrets, an update on whatever it is Kristen's going to talk about. Kristen,
What?
I
Who's
don't know.
Kristen?
You.
Who? I've never heard of this Kristen person before.
They all know.
No, they don't. No. No one knows my identity. Well, now that I've been unmasked, I want to lead off with what I am titling New Job Who Dis? It's Happy Crystal. So I talked about it in a blog, and I kind of mentioned it before, but I got a new job. I was dreadfully miserable at my old one, and I am super happy at my new job. My boss is great. He respects me, which you would think would be just like an assumed thing, but apparently not. But he does, and it's wonderful. My work bestie from my previous job also moved to this company as well, so he and I get to hang out, and it's just really nice to go into a position with a already established work bestie. That's awesome. So for anyone who is techie or tech interested or just held captive and has to listen to me anyway, I have moved into a DevOps position. Instead of doing programming front end or back end, instead I am automating build processes so that when developers push their code to our repository, it is automatically tested, vetted, and then if it passes all of its tests, pushed to the production or development server or wherever server it's headed. It may sound boring to some of you, but like to me this is super fun and super cool because now I'm currently trying to automate the automation process because I'm a crazy person. So that's what I've been up to lately. The super bonus of this is that I am not doing programming anymore for my professional job, which makes me super interested in programming for Azu, working on the half-dead website that I kind of abandoned. I'm re-energized to actually do this. And I'm not miserable, so I'm happy now. One of the things is I am working a lot with Amazon Web Services, AWS. So for my own training and learning, Ansel and I are going to be doing some AWS projects, one of which includes spinning up a server to move our website to. So as a result, I'm probably going to get a little crazy because that's what I do when I decide to reinstall WordPress onto the new server. I'm probably going to change some things. If any of you are familiar with WordPress, we are currently running a multi-site. So we more or less have one WordPress installation that runs Quill and Blade and some of our other side businesses, which is very handy for the management of it, but it means, for example, the user database is shared across all of them, so it's a little messy. When I go in there, I'm like, I'm not really sure who's like part of our other stuff and who's part of Quill and Blade. It's great for managing them all, but it's also kind of difficult because things are shared across it. So Clean Slate Quill and Blade is going to move onto its own server that we may use for other things, but for this testing process and for my own professional learning at home, it'll just be Quill and Blade for now for the experiments. It's going to get its own server, its own WordPress. It's going to be happy, I think, instead of living within the confines of a WordPress multi-site because there are some drawbacks to it. One of the things I'm going to be pushing first and foremost is something that I talked about months ago and then never did, sorry, for the non-US, I think Canada?
Canada.
Canada.
our friends to the north.
Whatever, those people. Whoever has to pay VAT to be a patron. I've got the plugin that I need. I've got all that set up. I just need to flip the switch. So part of the moving to the new server and out of the multi-site WordPress is that Quill and Blade will be able to take patrons through the site with no VAT charge. Or VAT. I don't know which it is.
It's both. It's whatever. I mean, typically you call it VAT, but I mean, you can call it VAT.
It feels like a slur. VAT feels like a slur.
Well, it is. I mean, generally it's theft. So, yeah,
So,
especially in the case of Patreon,
yes.
the VAT is literally theft. It's ridiculous.
So I'm finally going to make good on that thing that I said I was going to do and actually do the thing I said I was going to do. And as a result, I'll be putting some more stuff onto the Quill and Blade website. That'll be fun, I think, hopefully. Because, oh, I forgot to mention, I am traveling for work next week. I will be leaving Ansel behind to go for, coincidentally, AWS training over in St. Louis. And that means I'll be sitting in a hotel room by myself with nothing to do, so that's when I'll be doing the server migration.
Mango's not going with her, but we have suggested such a thing.
Yes, I'll be flying to St. Louis, and since there may be some of y'all in that area, I'm not opposed to a public dinner. Obviously, nothing private, but if people wanted to meet up as a part of dinner, we could maybe work something out.
With the understanding that her work schedule may not allow.
Right, I will probably be in a lot of training, so it's I'm making no promises. Yes, no private dinner with Crystal. That is, for what I hope are obvious reasons, not on the table.
Pedophilia.
Yes, pedophilia. I'm a pedophile, and you're not safe with me. Because I get handsy.
Yeah, she does. Just get one cocktail in her.
One, just half. Just let me breathe in the scent of some alcohol and I'm drunk.
That's true. That is very true.
So moving on, that's my update. Ansel, back to you.
Hooray. Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about Secrets of a Royal Guard. As y'all know, I finished up my work on it a little while ago, and it is now in Crystal's court. And she was too busy life-wise to really work on it prior, but now she's been freed up a little bit and has been making some time to kind of work through. She's got a ways to go, but certainly not going to take her as long as it's not going to take her as long as it took me to get to where I was. I think she's roughly, we'll call it a sixth done, but she's going to do a little bit more this weekend and probably get a decent amount done next week, depending on when she's not working on the migrations. And Mango, you're fine. And you're totally fine. Everything's fine. Okay, bye-bye. All right, pack your bags and go. Yep,
I'm gonna
just go.
spritz her.
Spritzer. Oh, it's murderous. Oh, Madbird. Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do with this is we're going to do a couple of things. Thing one is I am going to take the original secrets from FIM, pull it down as a single file. We'll make that available as a link for anybody that still wants it for posterity, and update the entire thing there. That'll be step one. And I will say this, I normally don't try to like convince people to spend their time on something they've already read. I would highly recommend reading this a second time with the new version. I'd wait. I wouldn't read it now, but I'd wait till the new one. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think you'll get more insight into everything, and then trials will make more sense because I wrote it again. I wrote trials based on how I imagined secrets actually going, and now secrets actually goes that way. I'm actually really proud of what I did. So once Crystal's done with her edits, then it'll be out on FIM. I'll make an announcement. I'd recommend it. And then on top of that, like we did with Memoirs, we will be turning this into a hardcover. And we will be using our usual process. But when I say usual process, I mean slightly different. So basically our not usual process. We are not going to take pre-orders. It's just going to be, we'll have a window for you to order. And basically as soon as you order, it will start going. As you might or may or not recall, Patreons, you need to keep an eye on your stuff because you have some free and discount offers, but you still have to fill out the forms because we don't just send in a vacuum. So I would say, assuming Crystal can do 2 chapters a week, Um, what?
I would hope I can do more than that, but you know what?
Yeah.
Considering I've done nothing the past like few months, that's actually a pretty good commitment.
Right. So assuming 2 chapters a week, maybe 3 months from now we'll reevaluate and see. I think she'll do a little bit more than two a week, but I figure like two a week. 3 months from now will be a good start. Sometimes she knocks out a bunch more. Sometimes they're rougher and need more work, and sometimes they need less work. So we'll see. And then in the interim, I'm going to be moving on to Sunny 2.0. I've kind of started that, and it will be a direct sequel to Sunny's Days, and we'll cover the time between roughly the end of Sunny's Days, 2 or 3 months later, and into memoirs, but not past memoirs. And we will see a lot of stuff from Sunny's perspective, including a lot more of Princess Celestia and how the two of them interact, as well as her vision of how she has interacted with Silent Night, especially in his early time. So we'll get to see some early Silent Night, which will be kind of funny, I think. Or at least I intend to write it that way. Because, as we all know, he had some social issues to begin with. So that is pretty much what I'm working on. And I think that's about it. Back to you, Crystal.
What? I've gotten back on the Hopes train. I semi recently published the chapter of that, so that's gotten me back in the swing of things. There are 8 chapters remaining of Hopes, and then there's going to be a break between Hopes and Dreams. But I will say, for people who do read my things, Dreams is going to take place largely after Trials. Because I get tired of the comments of, ooh, I can't wait to see this thing that happened in Trials. So a lot of Dreams is going to actually be after Trials. So haha to people who just want to read Trials. You're going to have to actually read something else. And not comment about it. Because I will destroy you. And kill your fiance. Booty, 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 booty. Rockin' everywhere.
Well done. Well done.
On the Veil front, I think I'm halfway through the next arc. That doesn't count as singing. That doesn't count. I'm about halfway through the rough draft of the first arc. There's gonna definitely need to be more work done, but I honestly, I'm not gonna bother making ETAs and promises because I won't keep them. I want to believe I'll keep them now that I'm in a really happy place in life and work is going great and I have the energy again. But why would I lie to you? Why would I get your hopes up just to destroy them?
Their hopes up.
Yeah, I realized it halfway as I said it. I was like, I don't got anything clever to follow this.
Yeah, I mean the truth of the matter is we can basically each of us focus on one thing at a time right now. That's not our work or our basically marriage. Is I really
And our
so
marriage needs a lot of work. Please send help.
It does. We are so close to divorce on a daily basis. It's painful. Uh, it's killing us. No, but anyway, really, the big thing is both of us work a lot more than we did when we got onto this whole thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're both happy, and we both still enjoy it. But it's just again the time it takes. So we will get there, but we're just turning, into like normal authors that take forever to do things, like Game of Thrones.
But without all the death.
Mine had some death.
But without all the death. Like, at least one character's gonna live. Red Velvet will come out victorious.
Of course. It will be the Red Velvet wedding.
You're clever. You know what? Divorce is off. We can stay married a couple days longer.
Oh, thank God. Ansel buys himself another day. All right, we gonna rail on some grammar?
Oh, lordy, lordy. So I was in a bit of a kerfuffle today. There was an event, I really don't want to go into details, but there was an event that occurred where someone was more or less trying to help, and I appreciate that endeavor, trying to help struggling and other authors with their writing by having a program that gives very black and white grammatical instructions. And that aside, it brought to my forefront of my mind a complaint that I have repeatedly have about grammar. And, I believe in it. It's a useful thing, but it's not the most important thing. It really isn't. And I have now a allegory, metaphor. I have a thing. I have a story. That's what I have. Is I have a story. So, in my opinion, and from what I have seen through others, and through film fiction and other websites, and focusing and extolling grammar as the forefront of everything is very much like waking up deciding that you want to learn how to, not learn, but you want to go biking. Biking is a new thing you want to do. You want that to be your hobby. So you go online and you find all the best stuff. You buy the best bike there is. You get all the gear, the elbow pads, the knee pads, the crotch pads, the pad pads, and you get all of that and you go out. And you know what? It was hard. Like your legs, your calves just weren't meant for this, and it didn't really go that well. And you fell, and this sucked. So you put the bike up, and you probably never bike again. That is how I feel about people who obsess over grammar. Really, you need to start with a tricycle. You need to have training wheels. You need to worry less about what the best bike is, what the best elbow pads are, what the best pad pads are. You need to find why are you trying to bike, right? Are you trying to go biking through rugged terrain in the mountains? Are you trying to just kind of go around the neighborhood a couple times to lose some weight? Do you want to be like my boss and bike 40 miles a day because you're a crazy person? He's still cool though, but he's a crazy person. He bikes a lot. There's lots of different ways to bike. There's lots of different ways to write. And they're all okay. They're all valid. Stop obsessing over what's the best way to do it. How's the best way to bike? Because the people that want to go mountain biking aren't the same as the people that just want to bike to the grocery store. And people who look at you trying to lose weight or trying to go mountain biking and go, really? You're going to have the XKY brand pad pads? Pfft, scrub. Why do you care? Like, why does it matter if they're looking down on the kind of pads that you're wearing and the kind of gear that you decide to buy or the kind of way that you want to bike? Yes, grammar is important. Having a bike is important to cycling, but the kind of bike that it is isn't as important as why you're doing it and why you're going out to go biking. Okay? Do we understand now, please? Because I'm just so tired of people acting like grammar is this black and white, rigid thing. If you aren't abiding by every single comma rule, then you are somehow a failure. I have read stories that have perfect grammar, and they were terrible. They were boring, they were dry, they were unimaginative. I've read stories with perfect grammar that were really good and really interesting. But I've also read stories. There's a story that I really like that someone wrote just on Tumblr that doesn't have any capitalization, and it doesn't really use very many commas, and it doesn't follow your traditional grammar strict rules. And it was riveting, and it was actually really interesting, and I loved reading it. It's okay. This is creative writing. This is fun. Let's just have fun, okay? Go bike. And if you want a bike that has training wheels and a flower basket and a bell, good for you.
So, as y'all all know, Crystal and I are generally pretty anti-grammar cactus, uh, and have been for years. But anyway, she had that burr today, and we thought we'd just kind of go through. We've kind of given this one before, which is fun. But yeah, in general, if all you worry about is grammar, you're missing other things. So do the story first, worry about grammar second, and remember, grammar is not black and white. Even if somebody tells you it is, they're full of poop. So if we can still have arguments about an Oxford comma, then that means grammar is not set in stone. Ta-da, jazz hands. Ooh, I see F.
He's been around.
Whatevs. Now I see him. Until I see him, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, whatever. Schrodinger's F.
Okay, so next up on the Price is Right. I said next up, not Oh my goodness. All my spots are lighting up as if I had said the A word. What? What? What?
Are you making a joke?
No, I mean they literally lit up because I said the Alexa word. They thought they did. I didn't. Anyway.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No one does. This is why we're getting a divorce. Okay. Um. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Next on the agenda is the most important thing of the day. Now, some of you are new. Some of you are not new. Some of you are, you know, kind of old like me. But what's going on is it is time for Scene of the Quarter nominations. What does that mean? That means you, as human beings that are associated with this particular uh, show, whatever we'll call this thing, this train wreck, you get to say what scene from any Quill and Blade story is your favorite and suggest it in the chat. Then we will take all of those and put them to our patrons, let them vote on which one they like best, and then that will become an art. So, the scene of the quarter poll has now begun.
No, it hasn't.
It has not begun.
Hold on.
It has been broken.
Stall them.
I'm going to stall them. All right. So, going to stall them. All right, a magic trick. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards. Okay, and I'm going to hand Mango one card. Here you go, Mango. Okay, now look at the card. Very good. Now you've got it memorized. No, don't eat it. Mango, stop. Okay, put it back in the deck.
Okay. You can stop. You can just stop.
Okay, the poll has begun. Remember, folks, the scene must be from a Quill and Blade story. It can be any Quill and Blade story. Doesn't matter which one. It can be even a non-canon Quill and Blade story that we wrote, like whatever the hell, Night and Day, whatever, those stuff, those things. And anyway, you nominate a scene now with the chat, with the Azubot thing there that Crystal wrote. And we're going to take a few minutes here to let everybody do that. And then it's going to go to the patrons over the next week. So make it good or don't. I don't really care.
I do. I care a little bit. Like, the scenes of the quarters are fun.
Oh, they're fun. I just don't care about people.
When the artists do them. Thank you, Nalu. You're not here right now, but thank you.
Remember, you have to vote through Azu with the vote.
They want music. Mango, sing.
Mango has decided that after... Okay. You have to @Azurite with vote. Yes.
I'm sorry. Someday I'll have a smarter bot. I actually am attending a webinar, an online webinar. Wait, webinars are inherently online. I'm smart. I'm attending a webinar about smarter chatbots.
When?
It's online. The 25th.
Really?
Yeah?
Who's it hosted by?
Ah.
How did you get invited?
Because I'm signed up on a DevOps community. I'll find it. Except I'll find it later because my screen is streaming and I don't want to open my email where people can see me. No one can see my emails. Shaza, also, by the way, your vote yes. FYI, you only get one vote, so that's your vote.
I win. 93 points. Suck it.
You're not a patron. You don't get to decide when. You only get to decide potentially what.
Who controls the credit card and the bank account?
Shh. Yeah, actually, Eagle beat you. 98 points.
But I'm flap, so I win. That I don't understand why y'all don't get this.
You realize everyone can hear you being a conceited butt. The divorce is back on.
Thank God. All right. So seriously though, folks,
Well, we can do some Q&A while people do the thingy.
all right. All right, we will take questions while people try to remember which scenes they want to see.
I will, I'll pull them up and read them. Are you ready, babe?
I think we've only. Oh, that kind of question. Yeah,
What?
you got them in the thread.
Yeah, I got them in a thread. That's what we
all right.
doing now.
Oh, Lord. Okay, fine.
Why don't
I'm
you
ready.
know my life?
Look, woman, I work so many hours a week and commute so many hours a week that I just don't have time to know your life. Okay? Okay?
I work really hard to make, like, you happy. And this is the thanks I get.
Name one thing you do that where you work hard to make me happy.
Really?
Yeah, I said name one thing.
Name one thing. Okay, hold on, let me think.
Who made you breakfast this morning?
You made me breakfast.
Who made you lunch?
You made me lunch.
Okay. Who pays for your car insurance that just came due?
You paid my car insurance.
Okay.
Who cleaned up my clothes explosions?
I did.
Yeah, that was you. Who keeps you occupied?
The stupid bird.
No, but I keep you more occupied than she does. I give you so much work to do. You're welcome. That's what I do for you. I love you. That's what I do for you.
Anybody out there that would love me but also do some of the chores?
Oh. I'm a really bad housewife. Like, I'm a super bad housewife. I guess you marry and flu pre now.
Well,
all right.
He's pretty cute. I could deal with that. Although technically I've kissed F, so. All right. See Q&A? Yes?
Hold on.
Oh, apparently F is now Crystal and Crystal. No. What? Flupri is the new Crystal. Were you still? He can unmute. Can he? Yeah. All right. Apparently, Flutter Priest is now the new Crystal and is now the co-host of the show. Potentially.
Hello and welcome to the Quill and Blade live event. We have wonderful hosts for this evening, such as Flat Flap.
Thank you. Hello and welcome, new wife.
This is terrible. Why are we doing this, Crystal? I can't handle this responsibility.
All right, he's out.
All right, apparently you're out. All right, so I'm going to move on and actually get to our questions because you know what? That's what I do. I get things done.
Next slide.
What?
Next slide.
Okay. Who? F, you're up.
So, I don't do chores.
All right, you're out. All right, he's done. All right, that's it. I'm just going to marry myself, and we're going to move on to the... Oh, I do chores and put out. All right, Arrowhead wins. All right, let's see here. Quill and Blade forum. Live event.
Okay, Arrow's your new wife now.
All right, great. Hello, Arrow. Welcome to being my wife. No? You're just going to type?
I don't think new wife knows that he can talk to you.
I win.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not that smart if you hadn't figured that out yet.
That's okay. I'm mostly looking on looks chores. You can be dumb as a rock, but as long as you got dad ass and you do the chores, I'm fine.
I put out, cook, and do chores, so it's a win-win. I'm pretty much amazing.
I love it. Oh, wow.
I at least make a good side piece.
All right. All right, I can accept. I'm more of a monogamous man, but you know.
Well, that's the other girl's problem, I guess. I'm a kind of an ugly woman, so
Well, you know, as far as women go, that's true.
yeah.
But that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so you're gonna answer some questions. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. New Crystal. When it
Send it.
comes to when it comes to interacting characters, the way they give and receive information is how their relationship progresses. One issue that has been pointed out is that I can be very straightforward with what is said, done, exchanged, and whatnot. Could that be considered a style of progressing a narrative, or should I consider holding back more information than being blunt and addressing the issue full front?
Well, think of your primary character. I mean, he is a blunt sort of pony, is he not? So, to me, that would be progressing the story in the correct, in the correct means. I mean, sure, you could leave stuff out, but I think at this point we're pretty well used to the way you write.
Good advice. Good advice. Next question. What type of food will Mango avoid with a passion?
That's a good question. Well, we know boxes aren't part of that.
Nope, she loves boxes.
Yeah,
Boxes are not food, though.
they are to her.
They're more of a material of which she expresses her creativity.
By creativity, you mean mindless, insensible rage.
Well,
What food would she avoid? That's a good question. I don't know.
Old Crystal?
Old Crystal would say anything that's wet and cold. So she doesn't like bananas because they're icky on her feetsies, and she's a diva.
Oh, so she's like she's got her own Yelp review stuff and all of that. Huh?
Oh yeah.
She
Oh,
does have
yeah.
a Twitter account, actually, legitimately.
She
Well,
does have a Twitter account. It's a Mango Coffee Bird. Go follow her. I post mango pictures.
Coffee.
I got her in the divorce. I still have her.
Also,
I got a bunch of work done with the money that I didn't get because we have a prenup, and now I have a little dog, and I live in Hollywood now.
does Ansel have to pay child support for Mango so that she can get premium non-GMO hot food?
I do
No,
not.
he does not, because the prenup says anything that I brought into the relationship is mine. So she's mine.
I kind of feel cheated.
Unfortunately.
We didn't have a prenup.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Now I can take you for everything that you're worth.
Well, we haven't been officially married yet. You're just a new Crystal, so we'll have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll just have to put out for a little longer then, I guess.
there you go. Second question. Any specific non-bird related toys other than boxes that she likes?
My guess would be something that makes noise. Like
No,
a bell or something like that. No.
No, she's scared of things that make noise. She really likes these little silicone balls that she just thinks that they're her babies.
So, just to stop here, you live in California, but you're doing Jersey Girl?
Yes.
She's a
I
transplant.
have money. I can do what I want.
She got money.
Don't tell me how to live my life anymore.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
What about bed sheets? Does she like playing with bed sheets?
Yes, she does. She loves to climb under them. And she yells peekaboo.
Fact. All right, next Mango question. Has Mango ever seen a picture or short video of another yellow-headed Amazon? It's yellow-naped. And if she has, how has she responded?
Oh, my guess is she'd be really, really mad.
Yes, she gets jealous when we watch videos about the birds.
And
She's
one
the
more.
only bird for you.
It's true. Has Mango ever seen a penguin?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, correct. She has not seen another penguin.
Well, that March of the Penguins 2 is coming out. She can see a penguin then.
That's true, but she gets angry when we watch other birds.
Yeah, especially other bird porn, which is what March of the Penguins 2 will most likely be, if the first one was any indication.
Well, now I'm super interested in it.
Alright. Okay. Turning to the QMB RPG, which raid boss, or I guess exploring boss, has the highest victory rate, aka friend conversion? Loss rate friend, aka friend conversion.
Oh, wait, I can't answer that. I'm not Crystal no more.
I need to call a lifeline for old Crystal.
What's your problem,
ex-Crystal.
babe?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any clue.
Okay, just hold on. Let me look it up for you.
Oh,
Right.
she's even got the teeth click and the tongue click that ugh.
I'm happy to provide. Actually, this would be kind of complicated to do. You can't stand my voice? Oh, I'm so sorry. Whatever.
That's racist.
I can look this up later, but I'd have to do a query, and I don't want to embarrass myself by getting it wrong when I'm streaming.
You need to automate that.
I need to automate that. You're right.
Okay. Next question. When developing, this one might be for me. When developing a story like the one made for Memoir Secrets and Trials, what was your process in development of the character, of the plot, character, and structure? Meaning, how did you develop the story and plot points without getting too ahead of yourself or overwhelmed? Well, so I think the easiest is to say that when I was working on memoirs, I had no idea what I was doing and had very few plans whatsoever. And so that it was really easy not to get ahead of myself because I just had no idea what I was doing. Actually, the whole purpose of memoirs was literally just to write the Nightmare Night chapter. Like, that was it. I had watched the Nightmare Night episode. I thought it was funny. I liked the fact that they used the same ghost pony like all over the place. And I was like, I'm just gonna write one story, just dip my toe in the old pony soup and just write that. But then I was like, well, I can't just write that one chapter. That makes no sense. So I had to have a backstory how he got there. And that's pretty much how memoirs came to be. And that was pretty much it. For Secrets, I wanted to try to tell an experience in the sense that what was it like to deal with PTSD and what was it like for people around someone to deal with PTSD. And maybe came up a little short. With the new version, maybe so much. And with Trials, I wanted to tell an adventure story. So at each kind of step, I set a goal and went with that. And that's kind of a short answer to a complex question.
You definitely did not fall short in that regard.
Well, thank you. And as a follow-up for New Crystal and I, when are we going to go to the land of kangaroos and wallabies?
Immediately. That shouldn't even be a question.
Oh, okay. We're going immediately. All right.
Oh my God, is that going to be your honeymoon?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, absolutely it can be.
I got a new change. I moved. I'm in Florida now.
You don't understand regional dialects.
It's okay. They don't mind.
Okay. All right. The question is, what do you think about Them's Fighting Herds, and have you had a chance to play it yet? New Crystal.
I have not had a chance to play it yet, but from the little bits that I've seen, it looks like a good time.
I feel the same way. And how about Old Crystal?
Oh my gosh, like I've seen a lot of people post the pictures of it and the GIFs and it looks really super cute. I haven't had time to play it, but I have been kind of interested in it. I'm not really sure because I don't really play fighting games a lot, but it looks super interesting. It's super cute.
Okay. Yes, we don't typically play fighting games, but it is pretty cute. Yes, that's what I'm going with. All right, let's see. How good is Silent at Airship Armada? Does he or Runic normally win their engagements? Would either of them stand a chance against? Silent and Runic are very different players when it comes to that. So Silent is very good at what we would traditionally call, when it comes to war games, min-maxing, right? So he reads through all the rules, gets a good understanding of the capabilities of all the units and how the rules interact with the units. Then he will build what is mathematically the most likely force that would win an engagement. And so he plans kind of like realistically based on that. And he is very good at keeping a strategy together and commanding in the heat of battle. But it is a little bit rigid because, again, the rules in the game are a little bit rigid, and that's just how it is. Now, Runic, on the other hand, does not care about any of those things. Runic likes what he likes, and he will pick the things that he likes and combinations that he likes and go with that, and does not always act in the what would be considered the most logical tactical method. And as such, that often ends up being successful because, again, if you can't predict anything your opponent does, then they can sometimes surprise you and get you. So I would say Runic and Silent Knight are very evenly matched, but their skills and abilities is different. And I would say both of them stand a pretty good chance against Princess Luna. Luna's good, but Luna is a little bit more like Silent Knight, with maybe a deeper level of how she views playing multiple games ahead. Oh, it's really cute, Wing. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But they all three play, they all three enjoy it, but they play different ways. But Silent Knight and Luna play closer to the same style. All right, let's see here. And will Dot ever get her own Q&B spinoff? What do you think, New Crystal?
Well, I think she should. Absolutely, since she's so adorable. But that's I don't know who has custody of Dot now that X Crystal and you, or there's this whole thing, and I don't want to get in the middle of it. That's baggage from the last relationship.
That's true. So technically Dot is mine. She was my baby, although she ended up, I think maybe Crystal ended up using her a lot more than I did. I would love for Dot to get a short. And Kristen and I have actually talked about that in the past. But now that we're divorced, I don't think we can work together anymore. So I might have to pick that up with New Crystal, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But
don't worry, babe. It's okay. We can totally do it together. It won't be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We won't fight. It'll be fine.
Just for you, I can do anything.
Oh my gosh, back off. I'll cut you.
You settle down over there.
okay. Next question. How much planning writing do you guys do? Like how much planned writing? Like do you two do much in the way of story notes? What kind of bullet points, brief scene descriptions, mismatch? Excellent question, because we are dramatically different on that. So I do a high level of planning, and also at only a high level. Timelines not really written out. I take a lot of notes mentally, sometimes just kind of scribbles. So I plan events, essentially, like I need to hit these events, and then I work my way through them. I would say Old Crystal doesn't do it that way. What does Old Crystal think?
Are you sure you don't want to let your New Crystal go first?
Why don't you go first, and we'll let New Crystal go.
Okay, fine, sure, okay. So I have a problem where if I don't write something down, then I'm gonna forget it. So I have to write down lots of things, but I really say it's bullet points and brief scene descriptions, and I wouldn't really say it's a mismatch because I kind of go all over the place of trying to decide, do I want to write this or do I want to write that? I'll kind of write down little notes on my phone sometimes, and then I'll transfer them over to the document. But if I do that, then sometimes I just kind of lose it on my phone, and then I find it a little bit later. Because I found some stuff for Lovey-Dovey and the Uncertain Stallion. I found that a whole bunch later. I was like, oh my gosh, these were really good ideas that I didn't use, but it's okay. So I have to write things down. I have to put them somewhere I'll find them. That's a really important part, is finding it later. But as far as for the whole story, really I just kind of go through it and have the idea of what I really want to do in my head, and I'll do some little bits of scenes here and there and outline some of the things with bullet points and take lots of notes. Really, I just take notes. That's what I do. I take lots of notes.
And New Crystal, if you can follow that up.
First of all, we're going to have a talk about you not putting me first. That's not acceptable. Second of all, I find that I only have to really plan stuff out just based on how my brain works when I'm in somebody else's universe. Just because I want to do justice to, maybe not necessarily follow their canons 100%, but do justice to the situations that I'm putting in their universe. And as far as my own stories, I do a lot of the same stuff. I'll send a message to myself if I think of something, like when I'm just walking down the street or something. I have to text it to myself, A, because I'm very forgetful, and B, because that kind of helps me keep it organized. But as far
we have
as
so much in common. We should
oh
hang
my
out.
gee, that's yeah, we should.
We should. Let's go shop for knives.
You like money too?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, why else would we marry him? It's not like he's nice or anything.
Yeah. But
All right.
in that regard, yeah, I don't really plan stuff out. I'm fly by the seat of your pants kind of person.
I see. I want a divorce.
I fly by the seat of Ansel's pants.
All right, maybe not a divorce. And all right, see, Ansel, devouring swarm, determined exterminator, or fanatic purifier. Of those three, it would be fanatic purifier, I would say. Generally speaking, I like to play a upfront, happy, scientific race, and then as I completely outpace everybody in technology, then I turn into a monster. All right, old Crystal, you said we had some more questions?
Never mind, he likes me again.
Whatever. Okay, so like he accepted you back, so we actually can't be besties anymore. I thought maybe we could have something, but we can't. Sorry. So
That's okay. Nothing of value is lost.
What?
What?
Oh my gosh! Could you just say that again to my face? Because like I am right here and I heard that, but I want you to say it again to my face.
Girl, don't make me get that knife out.
Oh, it is on. Is Golden awesome or more than awesome? Did you know that she's like super awesome? She's like the best character. Guess what? She's mine. I have the best character. Sorry. Bye.
Don't make me smack a hoe in here.
What? I've lost it. It's over.
Good, he's still mine. Leave.
She has lost it.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. We have no new questions in the thread. I see no new nominations. Are we ready for me to close the nomination poll?
Close it down.
You should have already automated that.
Oh my gosh! I am gonna fight you.
I'll cut a fool.
I'll cut a bitch.
Yes.
There, the poll is over.
All right, let's look at the actual real nominees, and then we will put it to the patrons. Not right this second. Oh, there they are. All right, Crystal goes nuts on Cheese Whiz in Trumpet, which technically already exists, but still funny.
Well, not her, not to that,
No, I know. Sunny Soren and Azurite's first threesome.
That's my vote.
All right, a tall Azurite. Yes, this is an example. Velvet marrying Crystal, which is definitely not something that has happened yet. Jersey Shore transplant Crystal wishes wearing Uggs and sipping Starbucks with a mango on her shoulder. That's my vote. Philly, Crystal, and Velvet bouncing on a couch. Defeating main villain in Trials of the Royal Guard, which is pretty cool. The one time where the thing happened.
Super duper guys, you guys are really good at these nominations. Like, wow. That's sarcasm.
Okay, well, and that brings us towards the end of the hour. Yeah, so I want to thank you all for coming out and witnessing the train wreck that is my marriage and my second marriage. And
the best marriage.
Of course, I mean, so far. And and as a reminder, we will be putting out some content here shortly. Stay tuned, stay with us, and oh, I hear you, F. I'm hoping to see you again at BronyCon this year for another smooch. And as a reminder, summer is here and BronyCon does loom. We will be there. We may or may not have a panel. Haven't heard yet. Haven't heard one way or the other. I'll let you know. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.